The 2026 Indian Chief Vintage just shocked the cruiser world, and riders everywhere are struggling to put it into words. This isn't a simple reboot of a classic. This is Indian going full-on heritage powerhouse with modern supremacy. The moment you fire it up, that deep, thunderous exhaust note hits your senses like a primal roar, the kind of sound that commands respect at stoplights and turns heads at every corner. But here's the twist. This isn't just nostalgia with chrome. The 2026 Chief Vintage blends timeless style with a refined engine and improved ride dynamics that feel alive in the twisties and confident on the highway. That signature Thunderstroke V-twin doesn't just rumble, it pulls with a torque surge that makes lesser cruisers look like toys. From slow rolls to aggressive throttle openings, this bike feels planted, purposeful, and unapologetically powerful. What really makes this ride an absolute buzz magnet is how Indian married classic cruiser elegance with today's touring capability. The plush, retro-inspired leather seat and sweeping fenders give it a vintage soul, but the ride comfort, wind deflection, and tech integration feel surprisingly modern. Long miles turn into effortless journeys, and every twist of the road becomes something to be savored, not endured. This isn't just a cruiser. It's a generation-bridging masterpiece that pulls at the heartstrings of seasoned riders while exciting a whole new crowd at the same time. When the 2026 Chief Vintage hits the pavement, it doesn't whisper tradition, it roars it with authority. Stay tuned, because this might be the most emotionally charged cruiser of the year, a bike that proves legends don't just survive, they dominate. The 2026 Indian Challenger 125th Anniversary doesn't just show up, it commands the road like a legend reborn. This is more than a special edition. It's a statement from one of America's oldest and fiercest motorcycle brands. From the moment you fire up that thunderous Power Plus engine, the Challenger 125th Anniversary grumbles with a raw, unapologetic growl that makes every other cruiser feel timid in comparison. Twist the throttle, and it punches forward with a shove of torque that feels like being dragged by a freight train. Massive, muscular, and unrelenting. Riders are calling this the most powerful, most visceral Indian cruiser ever made, and it's hard to argue when acceleration feels like an attitude with wheels. Every ride feels like a celebration, not just of history, but of pure road domination. But the real shocker isn't just the power. It's how Indian wrapped incredible performance in a package dripping with heritage and swagger. The 125th Anniversary Edition is loaded with premium details, bold badging, limited run finishes, and custom touches that scream exclusivity. And while some bikes lean too hard on nostalgia, this one balances it perfectly with modern comfort and touring capability. Plush ergonomics, refined wind protection, and a touring-ready chassis make long miles feel effortless, even when the throttle is begging for more. This isn't just a cruiser with heritage, it's a cruiser with authority. When the 2026 Indian Challenger 125th Anniversary hits the open road, it doesn't politely join the pack. It leads it with thunder in its wake and a legacy on its shoulders. The 2026 Indian Super Chief Darkhorse has rolled out of the shadows, and riders everywhere are absolutely stunned. This isn't just another update. This is Indian unleashing a savage cruiser beast with attitude turned up to the max. From the moment you hit the starter, that low, rumbling Thunderstroke V-twin growl feels like the engine is alive, breathing torque and hungry for the horizon. Twist the throttle, and the Darkhorse doesn't just accelerate, it charges with a visceral punch that slams into your senses and refuses to let go. This is a bike that doesn't care about subtlety. It wants to dominate every road it touches. Deep, dark styling, menacing blacked-out finishes, and aggressive design cues make it instantly clear. This isn't a cruiser for the timid. This is a machine with swagger, muscle, and personality you can feel in every inch of its soul. But the real shocker isn't just how fearsome it looks, it's how confidently it rides. Behind that muscular frame lies a bike tuned for serious performance, without sacrificing genuine comfort. The riding position feels natural and commanding, the suspension soaks up pavement imperfections with refined composure, and the overall balance gives you a sense of control that feels unbeatable for a machine this powerful. Whether you're cornering through twisties or eating up miles on the highway, the Super Chief Darkhorse stays planted and poised like it owns the road. This isn't just a cruiser, it's a dark-spirited legend reborn. When the 2026 Indian Super Chief Darkhorse hits the pavement, it doesn't whisper. It roars with authority and demands respect. The 2026 Indian Roadmaster 125th Anniversary isn't just a bike, it's a road-eating legend reborn for a new generation. Indian has dropped its most prestigious touring machine yet to celebrate 125 years of motorcycle dominance, and riders everywhere are losing their minds. From the moment you fire up that massive Thunderstroke engine, the Roadmaster 125th Anniversary growls with a deep, thunderous authority that commands attention at every stoplight. And when you twist the throttle, this heavyweight cruiser doesn't just move, it glides with unstoppable force, pushing torque with a confidence that feels bold, powerful, and utterly addictive. The sound, the power, the presence. It all feels like a celebration of true American muscle wrapped in premium touring engineering. Long roads? No challenge. Mountain passes? Bring it on. This machine was built for mile after mile with muscle, comfort, and swagger riding shotgun. But the real shocker isn't only its performance. It's how Indian turned this anniversary edition into a collector-worthy masterpiece without losing its touring soul. Gorgeous exclusive badging, premium accents, and first-class finishes make this Roadmaster stand out like royalty on wheels, and every inch of the bike feels meticulously crafted. The plush seating, massive hard bags, and advanced infotainment system make long-haul rides feel effortless, like you're piloting a luxury cruiser that eats highways for breakfast. And even with all that comfort, the Roadmaster remains planted and poised at speed, confident in corners and calm on the open interstate. This isn't just a special edition, it's a statement that Indian still knows how to build a touring titan. When the 2026 Indian Roadmaster 125th Anniversary hits the pavement, it doesn't whisper tradition, it declares it with thunder. The 2026 Indian Pursuit Limited Power Plus 112 just shattered every expectation riders had, and the cruiser touring world isn't the same anymore. This isn't a tiny bump in displacement or a mild refresh. This is Indian unleashing a monster engine with unfiltered torque and road-devouring authority. From the moment that Thunderstroke Power Plus 112 fires up, the deep rumble hits like a declaration. This bike means business. Twist the throttle, and the power doesn't just roll. It surges with a force that launches you forward like a freight train. The acceleration is relentless, the torque is massive, and even seasoned riders are grinning ear to ear wondering how something this heavy feels so alive. This machine brings a new level of aggression to touring cruisers. It's torque you feel in your bones, a surge that makes every long-distance run feel like a performance parade. The Pursuit Limited Power Plus 112 doesn't whisper power. It announces it with thunder. But here's where it gets even more jaw-dropping. Indian didn't just drop a big engine in a big frame. They turned it into a complete touring masterpiece built for the open road. The ergonomic comfort is next level, with plush seating and wind protection that turns marathon rides into effortless adventures. The integrated hard luggage is spacious but sleek, and the tech suite keeps you connected and confident from sunrise to sunset. This isn't just raw muscle. It's refined performance wrapped in touring capability. The chassis stays composed in corners, and even at highway speeds, the Pursuit feels planted and ready to devour miles without hesitation. When the 2026 Indian Pursuit Limited Power Plus 112 hits the pavement, it doesn't just compete, it dominates every other cruiser touring heavyweight out there. Buckle up, because this beast just redefined what a touring cruiser can really be. The 2026 Indian Chief Vintage has thundered into the spotlight, and riders everywhere are losing their minds, because Indian didn't just roll out another anniversary edition, they unleashed a cruiser legend reborn with unmatched presence and power. The moment that massive Thunderstroke V-twin fires up, the deep, guttural rumble feels like history itself roaring back to life. But this isn't mere nostalgia. Twist the throttle, and the Chief Vintage 125th Anniversary surges forward with torque so big it doesn't just pull, it dominates. Every mile feels raw, visceral, and commanding, like the road suddenly realizes it's no longer in charge. The engine's rich, bold sound isn't polite. It's a declaration, a statement that this bike is here to be noticed. Even seasoned riders can't help but grin, knowing this machine blends classic cruiser soul with a power band that's unmistakably modern. And the wildest part? Indian managed to wrap all that muscle in a touring cruiser, packed with premium features and timeless style. The plush, heritage-inspired seat, iconic fender lines, and exclusive 125th anniversary badging make this bike feel like a rolling piece of motorcycle royalty. But don't let the classic good looks fool you. This machine is built to conquer real-world miles with confidence. The wind-cheating fairing, ergonomic comfort, and sleek storage make long days in the saddle feel effortless, while the chassis stays poised and stable whether you're cruising highways or carving sweeping turns. This isn't just a tribute bike, it's a statement that Indian still builds legends. When the 2026 Chief Vintage 125th Anniversary hits the pavement, it doesn't whisper tradition. It roars it with thunder and pride. The 2026 Indian Roadmaster Classic has rolled out, and it's not just another touring bike. This beast feels like America's heart made into metal and thunder. From the moment you hit the starter, that deep, commanding growl announces its presence like a freight train rolling down Main Street. But this isn't just about noise. Twist the throttle, and the Roadmaster Classic pulls with a bone-shaking surge of torque that feels like raw power incarnate. It doesn't move. It dominates, making every straightaway feel like open road freedom and every highway mile feel like an invitation to push harder. Riders are calling this machine a perfect blend of classic cruiser soul and modern big touring capability. And once you feel that smooth, relentless thrust, you'll understand why. This isn't a polite tourer, this is a road-eating monster that refuses to be ignored. But the real shocker isn't just engine performance, it's what Indian packed into this machine to make long-distance rides feel effortless. The Roadmaster Classic wraps premium comfort, intelligent wind protection, and spacious luggage capacity into a cruiser frame that feels both confident and composed at speed. The seating is plush yet supportive for marathon miles, the fairing keeps wind buffeting at bay, and every journey feels like you're gliding rather than riding. And while other cruisers chase flash, the Roadmaster Classic blends timeless style with touring authority, making riders feel like they're piloting something that belongs on every open highway. When this bike hits the pavement, it doesn't just ride, it commands attention, respect, and miles without apology. The 2026 Indian Scout 125 years anniversary just dropped, and riders can't stop talking about it. This isn't some mild anniversary badge or a paint job slapped on for nostalgia's sake. Indian has unleashed a heritage icon reborn with modern ferocity, celebrating 125 years with style, attitude, and performance that punches way above its weight class. From the first twist of the key, that deep, rich V-twin rumble hits like a roaring tribute to over a century of motorcycle legacy, but it's not stuck in the past. Fire it up, and the power band surges with a thrilling push that feels alive, aggressive, and remarkably smooth. Every twist of the throttle translates into instant forward thrust, reminding riders why the Scout always stood out. It's not just about power, it's about character you can feel in every inch of the ride. But what makes the 125 years anniversary Scout truly shocking is how Indian blends history and heart with modern capability. This bike doesn't just look timeless, it rides that way too. The chassis feels balanced and responsive, the handling sharp but composed, and the overall ride feels like a perfect mix of cruiser soul and contemporary engineering. Sweeping lines, premium anniversary badging, and thoughtful design details make this edition feel like a collector's dream on wheels, while the refined ergonomics and torquey engine make it a blast on every road. This isn't just a celebration, it's a statement that legends still have bite. When the Indian Scout 125 years anniversary hits the pavement, it doesn't whisper heritage, it roars it with undeniable force. The 2026 Indian Chieftain Trike has just arrived, and it's turning cruiser culture sideways. This isn't your average three-wheeler with a touring badge slapped on. Indian has engineered the Chieftain Trike to feel like a muscle cruiser and a beastly touring machine fused together. From the moment you fire it up, that deep thunderstroke V-twin growl hits like a thunderclap, letting everyone know this machine isn't here to socialize. It's here to dominate the road. Twist the throttle and the surge of torque feels unstoppable, the kind of instant power that makes straight-line cruising addictive. The Trike's planted stance and wide rear axle give it a confidence that most two-wheel bikes can only dream about, especially when cruising highways or blasting through long, open country roads. This isn't just about going from A to B. This is about commanding the asphalt with authority, comfort, and a presence that turns heads everywhere you roll. But the real shocker isn't just the power. It's how flawlessly the Chieftain Trike blends pure muscle with real, long-distance comfort. The seat wraps you in support for marathon rides, the wind protection is engineered to carve through highway blast zones, and the integrated touring luggage means you're ready for true adventure right out of the driveway. Whether you're hauling down the interstate, carving sweeping curves, or standing still at a scenic overlook, this Trike feels confidently planted and insanely capable. Indian didn't just build a Trike, they built a cruising titan that redefined stability, comfort, and road dominance. When the 2026 Chieftain Trike hits the pavement, it doesn't whisper, it booms with presence and power. The 2026 Indian Scout 60 has just dropped, and riders everywhere are shocked by how much muscle and character Indian packed into this lineup's entry-level cruiser. This isn't just a friendly little bike with a retro badge. This is a torque-rich cruiser with attitude that refuses to be ignored. From the moment you fire it up, you're hit with that deep, rumbling V-twin sound that feels like heritage and aggression mixed into one. But don't be misled by the name. Twist the throttle and the Scout 60 doesn't just move. It launches with a surprising punch that makes mid-range power feel explosive. The engine pulls with a confidence that feels bigger than its displacement, making every ride feel like a revelation. This is a bike that doesn't compromise on personality just because it's approachable. It brings swagger, style, and teeth-grinding torque to every mile you ride. But the real shocker? The 2026 Scout 60 rides like a cruiser, twice its size. The chassis feels balanced and eager, the ergonomics are relaxed yet commanding, and the seat wraps you in comfort that makes even longer weekend trips feel effortless. Whether you're carving city streets or drifting into open highway territory, this bike feels planted, eager, and alive. Classic cruiser style meets modern confidence, and the result is a machine that feels sexy, capable, and ready for more than just short jaunts around town. The Indian Scout 60 isn't just a starter cruiser, it's a performance cruiser that packs way more punch than anyone expected. When this bike hits the pavement, it doesn't whisper entry-level. It roars capability with every ride. Stay tuned, because the 2026 Scout 60 might just be the sleeper hit of the year,